Thank you for stopping by my channel for the back to school hop. This is for Country Craft Creations, and I have some paper here that I want to show you before I get started on my project. This is the Echo Park collection. It's called Off to School, and it's got real pretty, primary colors. It's what you would expect to see for a school themed paper. I do have a walkthrough of the paper. If you want to take a look at that, I'll try and remember to link it down in the description box, but I think this one's my total favorite paper. So I'll be using this paper, and I'm kind of making a teacher gift set, I guess, for her desk. So there'll be a little caddy, there will be a little container that you can hold these folders we'll be making. It'll hold Post-it notes, just something that I think any teacher would love to have as a gift, a welcome back to school gift, a Christmas gift, whatever. So we're going to start with the caddy. Let's go ahead and get your paper prepped. So it might be helpful to have a notebook handy if you want to jot down the measurements as I go. Let me get my stuff laid out here. All right, so we are going to start with two pieces that are 9 by 12. And so when you look at this sticky note, when I have the 9 inches with a line showing the 4 and the 8, that means I'm putting the 9 inches across the top, and I'm going to score at 4 inches and at 8 inches. Then you'll see the line under the 12 with 4 and 9. That means I'm turning my paper so that the 12 inches is across the top, and I'm scoring at 4 and 9. So that's how I label my things to make it easier for me to remember. So let's go ahead and start with the 9 inches across the top. Get my scoring tool. And let's go ahead and score at 4 and at 8. This is going to be in the way. Put that there. Okay, so 4. I usually do it twice here, and then at 8. We're going to turn it, and we're going to score at 4 and at 9. 4 inches, and again, let's make sure that's out of the way. 9 inches. Okay. Do the same with the other one. So you have two of these that are 9 by 12. So 4 and 8. With the 12 inches across the top, 4 and 9. Okay, so this is what we have. I'm going to go ahead and do some cutting. So I'm going to be taking off this top rectangle and this bottom rectangle. So let me get my scissors here. Which ones do I want? So I'm going to cut just to the inside of that score mark. When I get to the first score, I'm going to cut at an angle so that it turns the middle one into a tab. Okay, so I took off the bottom. When I got to the score, I angled it. I'm going to take the other skinny rectangle off, just cut to the inside here, or outside, I guess, depends how you look at it, of the score mark so you don't have that bump. When you get to the score, I'm going to have you angle it like so. Okay, I do need to trim just a hair right here, I think. My scissors aren't very sharp. There we go. Okay, we're going to do that to both pieces. So I'll go ahead and do it to the second one also. Cutting up to the score, that skinny rectangle. And cutting it at an angle to cut it off. And the opposite corner too. At that score, I'm going to angle it to make that middle one a tab. All right. So I'm going to fold my score marks, get that ready. Let me put this back in. do the same with the other one. We're just getting our paper ready here for the caddy. So I want all the score lines burnished. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is this end that has the smaller rectangles at the bottom. So this one, the opposite end, has larger rectangles. I'm down at the bottom where they're smaller. I'm going to cut on the score to that first score mark to separate the two. And I'm going to slightly taper, not much, just a little bit here on the inside so that they don't bump into each other. This becomes the bottom of the box. I might have to change my scissors. Okay, so it'll be ending up like this. So we want to make sure that we just slightly taper the other side also. This little thing is driving me crazy. Okay, and then just a tiny little bit here. Okay, so this is what we have so far. Like I said, this will end up being the bottom, and we'll be attaching the two pieces. The top, this is actually going to reinforce the main part of our caddy. So this is going to end up being folded over and glued. For this to work the best, we're going to do the same thing at the top that we did at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and cut on that score. And again, I'm going to taper these so that they don't bump into each other. Okay, and again, I'm going to do it slightly on the outside, just slight to the score. It doesn't have to be perfect. It will be tucked inside of our caddy for reinforcement, so it's all right if they're not super neat. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue these down. So let me give them a good burnish again, just to make sure that they're down. And you just want to look, once you've folded them down, to make sure you don't see any paper poking out. Okay, so it should be lined up nice and neat. I forgot to burnish this one. All right, so go ahead and get your glue. And let's go ahead and just give it a little around the perimeter here, a little bit on the inside. I just like to make sure I get those corners. Bring that over and burnish it. So we have a reinforced caddy. Next one, we'll do the same thing. Bring it over, give it a burnish. Any excess glue comes out, clean it up. Even though that art glitter glue will dry clear, sometimes it leaves a little bit of a shine, okay? Let me get my scraps out of the way, and we're gonna do the same thing with the second piece. So I'll move this to the side. The shorter end, the smaller rectangles, that ends up being our bottom. I want to taper this one less, so just a smidge. Okay. And I'm going to leave these, I'm not going to miter these outside ones yet. If I need to later, I will, but for right now, I'm going to leave those. Okay, opposite end, we do the same thing. We're going to go ahead and cut on the score to the score mark here. We're going to take out a triangle basically in the center. And do that on the other flap also. So let me see if I need to, yeah, I do need to miter a little bit. When I put them down, I did notice that there would be a little bit of an overhang. So I'm going to slightly miter. We're going to glue those larger rectangles down. We're not going to glue the small ones down. Okay. Finish that down. Now you can choose to cover these. I'm not going to on the inside, but if that's something you want to do, you definitely can, but I'm not going to be doing that on the video because we're going to have a divider in the center. I don't really think you're going to see the inside that much anyway. So it's okay for me that I'm not going to cover the inside. Plus I'm going to have materials in there. I'll have scissors and pens and rulers, so you won't see it. And I didn't score that one either. All right. So we are going to combine those two pieces to form our caddy. Garbage on here. So we are going to place we're going to put glue on the tab and glue it to the second piece. Doesn't matter which end you do it because it's going to end up being all attached anyway. Okay, just on the tab here. I want to line them up nice and neat so that they're exactly the same height. I don't want to cross the line though. I want to make sure, there we go. Give it a good burnish. And we're going to also attach the other one, and that's what's going to form our square. So putting glue on the other tab. And I'm just laying it down flat, bringing the other piece on top, making sure they line up nice and neat. And I'm burnishing. I'm going to give that a chance to dry just a little bit. So I'm going to work next on the divider piece that's going to go in the inside. So that's going to go off to the side. So you're going to need two pieces next of your cardstock that measure 11 by 4. Now I say 15 and 16ths. It can be 11 by 5. And then you're just going to cut off a hair, just like a smidge, okay? And I'll show you, I think I might have already done that. Let's see, did I do 15 16ths for the height? Yeah, I did. I just took like a 16th of an inch off. So here's how we're going to do the scoring. Go ahead and place your 11 inches across the top. We're not doing any scoring on the short side. So first start at 2 3/4. Then you're going to go to 5 1/2, and then 8 1/4. Okay, let's do that to the second piece also. 11 inches across the top, 2 3/4, 5 1/2, 8 1/4. So we are going to fold this on the 5 1/2 inch. So right in the center, fold that over, make sure that they line up on the ends there. So you might have to adjust a little bit if your scoring might have been off a hair. Okay, then we're going to take the end pieces and score them the opposite direction. So this one's going to go this way. And again, I want to line it up, make sure that it goes to the edge just perfectly. And I'm going to bring this one over. So it's going to look like a mountain in the middle. Okay, so it looks like a capital letter M when you look at it. Okay. Do the other one the same way. We're scoring the 5 1/2, or we're burnishing it at 5 1/2. We're going to take the two end pieces and go the opposite direction. Flip it over, bring it over here. Okay. Again, it could look like a W or an M, whichever way you look at it. So then what we are going to do is we're going to glue the two middle pieces, the two rectangles that are in the center together. Okay, so it will look like this. So I'm going to go ahead and put glue on one of those rectangles. Again, make sure the top and the bottom perimeter gets nice and gluey there. So I'm going to bring that over and give it a really good burnish, especially on the top and the bottom, because you don't want to see any gaps. Okay. Yep, nice and smooth. Okay, we're going to do the same thing to the other one. Glue around the perimeter and on the inside. Bring that over. Giving it a real firm burnish. So you have two of these now, and now what we're going to do is glue these two pieces together like so. Okay, so these two will be attached to these two. So I'm just going to put, I'm going to do glue on this one. All right, that's probably good. So we already glued one end. We're taking the two that we have not glued, and we're going to line those up. So make sure they're lining up. And burnish. Now there might be one the side that you think looks better, that's the one you're going to want on the top of your caddy. So if you have a little bit of mismatching, like they don't line up exactly right, then you'll put that one on the bottom. See a little bit of a gap here. There, okay. All right, so you're done with the divider piece. We're going to set that to the side. So there are some pockets that we want to make. So there are going to be 2 pockets that are a little bit bigger and 2 pockets that are smaller. So you'll need 2 pieces that are 6 by 3.5. And you'll need 2 pieces that are 6 by 2. If you want to write that down. So these pockets have a 1/2 inch depth to them. So we'll place the 6 inches across the top. We're going to score at 1/2 and at 1. Turn it to the 3.5 inch side. Score at 1/2 and 1. Rotate it one more time so your 6 inches is across the top. Oh my, why does that keep moving on me? 1/2 and 1. So do that to the other one also. 1/2, 1, rotate it. 1/2, 1, rotate it. 1/2, 1. Okay, let's set those 2 to the side. Those are our 2 larger pockets. The 2 smaller pockets that are 6 by 2, we're doing the same scores. So place the 6 inches across the top, 1/2, 1, rotate it, 1/2, 1. These are very small pockets. Rotate it one more time, 1/2 and 1. Turn so the 2 inches is across the top. 1/2, 1, 1/2, 1. Okay, so now we're going to do some cutting of those. So I'll start with the larger ones. Okay, we are going to cut off the 3 outside squares that are in the corner. Okay, so let's do that first. As straight as you can. And then the bottom 2 come off, and that side one, so that you only have 1 square left. Other corner the same way, the 3 outside squares. That doesn't want to come out. There we go. All right, so we do need to release the little flap here. So I'm going to cut up on that score line, and I'm going to do just a slight taper on each side, just slight. So it looks like so. Release that square by cutting up on the score mark. Lightly taper each side. All right, you're going to do that to basically all of the other pockets too. So the other one that is the same measurement, take out the 3 squares. I'm going to taper now. Snip, take out that one, take out this one. And then we want to release the square and taper. Okay, let's go ahead and burnish those. Those are the two large ones. Burnish all the scores. The 1/2 and the 1 inch. Move that to the side and do the same to the other. Okay. So while we're at it, so we don't forget, let's do the two small ones the same way. Our caddy is about 5 inches tall, so our pockets have to be really small. And release that square. Oopsie. That'll work. Okay. Same thing on the other. Could have had these done ahead of time, but I did not. Once you've done one, you should know how it works. Cut up on that score and taper those tabs. Okay, it's time to burnish those next. Just like before. And it's going to be easier for us to paper these before we attach them to our caddy. So that is what we will do next. This one I need to trim, I can tell. Okay, so I'm going to set those to the side. So you are going to need to cut your pattern paper next. So on my box, I want the front and the back to have the same paper and the two sides to have the same paper. You can choose to do all four the same, but these are the papers I'm choosing. These are going to be on the side. The red will be on the front. So those measure 3 7/8 by 4 7/8. 3 7/8 by 4 7/8, and then you're going to need two that measure 3 7/8 by 2 3/8. Now you can choose to ink your edges if you want. Normally I do, but because this is a school, I think it's going to end up getting Should I ink? I'm going to pass on inking this time just to make it easier for the video, but you can totally ink if you want, okay? All right, so this one that's going to be in the back is not going to have a pocket on it because it's going to be on the desk. It's going to be at the back, so I'm not going to see it. I won't be able to use it, so this just gets to be plain, okay? The two sides are going to each have a larger pocket, so that's going to be these, okay? So we're going to cut paper that we think is cute, and we're going to put it on the front. You can choose to do your 1/2 inch sides, so you'd cut those at 3/8 and 3/8 on all the sides, okay? But what's going to happen is we're going to be attaching it to the paper instead of the box, okay? So let me give you the measurements, and then I will put my pattern paper on the pockets, and then I'll come back and show you how we're going to apply them. So let me get my ruler. So these measure about 4 inches. So I'm going to cut my paper to be 3 7/8. And this is about 2 1/2. So I'm going to cut these at 2 3/8. Okay, 3 7/8 by 2 3/8. So I'll need 2 of those because I have 2 pockets that size. Now I am going to paper the side. You only have one section that you have to paper. This part's going to be glued down. So 3/8 by 2 3/8. You'll need 2 of those, and 3/8 by 3 7/8 for the bottom one. Okay. For the smaller pockets, we're going to do 3 7/8 by 7/8. Okay, so then these you'll need 2 for each pocket that are 3/8 by 3 7/8. And we're going to go ahead and put the paper on our pockets, and then we'll attach them to the pattern paper and the box. All right, we're going to finish the box now. So there's one side, remember, that is not going to have a pocket. And so I just took a piece of pattern paper that was 3 7/8 by 4 7/8. And then I did some matting and put one of the cut aparts on there. And then we'll end up gluing that on just the back side. Okay. Now we have 2 pockets. One of them was the large size. And notice we're attaching it to the paper. Then we'll attach it to the box. And then we had 2 of the small ones. We're going to do the same thing. So I'll go through. One thing I wanted to show you on these, this says adhesive brads. I just see adhesive. So if you look at the back, there are no brads. It just looks like they are. So I thought that was kind of cool. Anyway, I'm going to set these to the side and show you how I put these together here. So I'll do the large one first. So the first thing I want to tell you is I ended up not liking these little tabs, so I'm going to snip that off. It just made it a little bit easier. You can leave the tab if you want. I didn't like it. So I'm going to cut those off so that they're out of the way. And we're going to place our pattern paper on that 1/2 inch that's on the outer part. Okay, so this will be the 1/2 inch gusset. And then there's that 1/2 inch, this first 1/2 inch, that's where we're going to glue this paper to. So we want to make sure we don't go over the score line, and we just want to make sure it's centered. So I'm going to place glue on this 1/2 inch, maybe. Okay. All right, and center it, and just make sure you don't go over the score mark. That looks about right. Then burnish that. So now we're going to attach the 1/2 inch to the back. Okay, so we want to make sure that it lines up with the bottom of the box pocket. Okay, so I'm going to place glue. I'm going to do one at a time. I'm not going to do them at the same time. It's easier to do them separate. Okay, so before, I'm going to just kind of look to see that it's meeting the bottom to form that nice pocket. I'm holding it with my finger, and then I'm going to push this paper down at the top, and then I'm going to lay it down and just burnish the inside so that the paper sticks to that 1/2 inch, like so. So now that's attached on the back. Okay, do the same with the other one. We're going to put glue on the outside. We're going to make sure it lines up with our pocket, and then we'll push that paper into it. Okay, and I'm going to hold it at the top for a second, turn it upside down, and put your burnishing tool or something in there, bone folder, to push that paper to the black 1/2 inch. Okay, so that's how we did the larger one. Now we're just going to glue them onto the box. Small one, we're going to do the same way. I did not like the tabs. I'm going to cut those off, the bottom. Okay, just make sure that this fits on there, and it does. We're going to center it. So I'm putting glue on that 1/2 inch. Placing this to the score, but not over. Centering it. Okay. I forgot to score this one. Not score, burnish. Okay. So we're going to make sure that the bottom meets at a right angle. I'm putting glue on that outer 1/2 inch. Wrapping it around to the back, making sure that pocket lines up on the bottom. And pointing or pushing down at the top. And just getting my bone folder in there to give it a good burnish. And then the last one. Checking the corner, bringing it over, push the paper back to it, and burnish. So now we're going to attach them to our box. So I'm looking at this, and I want the part that we put together, the seam, to go to the back. So this is what I want for the back. So I'm going to place this on this piece right here. And I'm just going to center it, make sure that it doesn't go over any score marks. The first one I made, I put the box together first, like I made it into the caddy, and then I attached these, and it was just kind of awkward. So I thought it'd be easier to attach the papers first before forming the actual holder, if that makes sense. Wait, which one did I want? This one. Okay, no score marks. Good. Don't go over those scores. Okay, so in the front is where I'm going to place, so I'm looking at this knowing this is the back, so this is my front. This is where the two are going to go. So they're going to be stacked like so. So I'm going to do the bottom one first. I'm putting glue all over the black 1/2 inches and the paper. Make sure those corners go down. And I'm going to take it pretty much down to the bottom, and I'm going to center it. Looks like I'm going over here. Okay. I am going to burnish that real well on the inside also. And then this one's going to go right on top of it, like so. So I'll put glue on the back of that one. Okay. And I'm going to go from the top. I want to make sure it goes almost all the way to the top. And they're lined up. All right, and then we're going to burnish that one on. Okay, so we have the front and the back done. Now I want to do the side. So this is going to go like so. Like so. It's going to be pretty close. Let me see. Maybe it'll fit better on this side. Sometimes there's just a hair of a difference. Nope, the other one works better. So I'll put glue. All the way around in the inside. All right. Don't go over the score. Give it a good burnish. Okay, so now we have one side. Now we need to do the other one. Now this is going to be the most challenging just because we have a pocket now and we don't want to smash it. But this one will go right here. Okay. Place our glue. Swirl, swirl, okay. Whoop. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of open it and put my hand back here and burnish that down. All right, so now we're going to close the bottom. Now there were two that I tapered and two that I didn't, so I want the tapered ones in first and the ones I didn't, no, I'm gonna do opposite sides, like so. Okay, and I'm just gonna add some glue. So I will first start with this one. Make sure it's square. And this want to make sure that it's sticking. And then we'll glue the other two on. I want this one down first. Okay. I like to give it a little burnish on the inside. And our last one. And now you can, like I said, put pattern paper on the inside. I'm not, because I don't even really think you're going to see it much, but for durability, if you want to, that's great. All right. Turn it upside down, just make sure that it's adhered real well. All right. So now we get our divider, and we're going to make opposite corners like so. It's going to look like an X. It's going to be a tight fit, which is what we want. It will help keep its shape. And there we go. So you have 4 compartments. Okay. Now, what are we going to put in here? Well, these sticky notes fit real well on the small ones. You can add paper clips. I have some of these clips I could put in there. These hold the bigger Post-it notes. If you want to add some more decoration around the top, you can. I'm trying to think if I want a bow of some sort. But so that's the caddy. Now we're going to make the workstation part of it, I guess is what I'm going to call it, to go along with this caddy. Super cute. All right, let's go on to the next one. Okay, the original plan was to do a workstation, but I found some daily planners from Walmart that I think will be super cute and useful for a back to school project. So this is by Pen & Gear, but it is found at Walmart, and I got them at the store, but you could get them online also. But it's a really good deal. There are 12 little planners inside of here, and they're not dated, and they come in this nice little storage box. And so I'm going to just take each of these little notebooks and decorate them, maybe add pockets on the inside. And like I said, I'm going to decorate this box, and I'll probably put some sort of holder on the front so that the month that I'm working with can be separated from the other ones. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So when you take the booklets out, I only need, or at least here where I live, kids go to school from August to May. So I can take out June and July. So I only need 10 instead of 12. So I would take 2 out. But the ones I'm not using, I can put in this direction if I want. If they're too thick, which could happen, then actually I would only need 9, because I'm going to make a pocket on the front that I can store the one that I'm using right now, just to make it easy to get to. So maybe 9 will fit in here after they're decorated. But if you take a look inside, it says daily goal, priorities, morning, afternoon, and evening. And then there's notes. So I thought that was super handy and cute for school, whether it be for a teacher, a parent, or a student using it as kind of like an assignment notebook. But I thought there were tons of different uses for this. So it's Walmart, it's by Pen & Gear, and they call them the undated daily planners. Okay. Now, if you don't have these or have access to them, you can do the same thing just using those mini composition notebooks. And you can use those instead and just use them for either, notes, or you could write in, make it like an assignment notebook or a daily to-do list. Okay, so I've done 2. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So for August, I just took some of the paper, and I'm not putting anything on the back because I want it to, if possible, I want it to fit in the box. So if the more bulk I add, and I think they're cute colors. So I just added some of the cutouts. I have some punches I'm using. I have this chipboard sticker from the collection. I left it open at the top and placed a tag, fussy cut the stuck on you. This is from the Brad, 3D Brad sheet that I got, so that I can easily get it and it won't go all the way through. I have a punch for the tab here, and I have some foam stickers, so I put the star, and then I'm abbreviating the month to make them fit on the front. I did pop this up on foam squares, and then on the inside, for this one, I just added a pocket. So on other ones, I'll probably do different things, but you can tuck little things inside. Okay, so there's August. September, I just punched out a little banner with a punch that I have. There's two of those flat, they call them brads, but there's no brad backing, they're stickers, but put that on each end. I fussy cut the owl and cut out the star student. That was a cutout or a cut apart, and I just cut it literally apart. And I added a little bow on his front there. And then on the inside, I had a little bag that I thought was cute, so I cut it to size, and then I just put a little tag on the inside from the collection. Okay, so each one will look a little bit different. I'm going to do a couple with you just to give you some ideas, and then at the end, I will show you all 12 of them so that you can like freeze your video and take a look at them. But I thought these would be good ideas, and using any of the school paper or any paper actually. So I've done the peach and the green one. I'm going to move on now, and I've done August and September, so October is next. I should have saved the peach one probably for October. Okay, let's get going on this. I'll get some things cut and ready to go. I'm going to do October, November, and December with you. My books, these measure 3.5 by 5. So the first thing I did for the October book is I went ahead and took some of the coordinating paper for the Echo Park collection that I have back to school, or off to school. And so I cut it 1/8 of an inch smaller. So instead of 3.5, I did 3 3/8, and instead of 5, I did 4 7/8. I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. Come on, glue. I got something stuck in there. Oh, this is the wrong one. I don't usually use this one. Hold on. Let's see if this one's any better. This one's worse. Even with the pin, I still sometimes struggle with these getting a little bit clogged. Okay, here we go. And I just want to make sure that the edges, the corners, get down so that they don't lift. And I'll just go ahead and center that. Okay. Get rid of that excess glue that comes out. So the next thing was, I found one of the cut aparts or the cutouts. You guys, I use those words interchangeably. I don't know. Cut out, cut apart. The journaling tag. How about that? And I made it a little bit smaller so that I would have a little bit of space down here to add something. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that on next. It's fun kind of putting these together and seeing all the different designs you can make. I like to do tags, so it's, to me, I looked at these as kind of like being tags. Okay. Give that a burnish. So layers are good here. Now I do have a die that is school related, so this clip was one of them. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that clip on like so. I think I actually got this from Country Craft Creations a while ago. Like, I think I did. Maybe not. I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to put that. Maybe I should, no, I'll put it at the top. Just give me some more room to work. All right, I did need to add some color down here, so I took an orange piece. Again, it's 3 3/8. This is close to 1/2 inch, and that was just on the branding strip that I used that, or cut that from. Okay. Looks like my cutter was a little jagged there. Now I am going to put the month on these. I have some letters. I went through my stickers, my stash, my dies, and found all my letters so that I could get those used. And I'm going to put the T on next just to make sure I space them out the same. It's hard. These are skinny letters, so it's kind of hard to. And I'll put the C right in between the two. It's kind of relaxing doing this too, actually. It's a small canvas, so it's not so intimidating. I got those kind of close. Okay. So there's my October label. I have some fabric stars that I'm going to put on there. I took one of the stickers from the collection and matted it by putting it on black cardstock, and I want that to be kind of lifted up. So I'm going to use my foam squares from Country Craft Creations. And I want one in there right here too. Take the backing off. I like having different dimensions on here. So then I just kind of eyeball it. Do I want it tilted, straight? I think I kind of want it tilted a little bit. Now, whenever I work with embellishments, I usually like to use an odd number. So these fabric stars I have, I'm just going to place 5 of them randomly here and there. Stars always remind me of, oopsie, of school themes. And let's put one down near the bottom. Come on, glue. They don't have to stay on the paper. You can also, you know, go off a little bit. And one more. Let's see, up here, down here. Do it right there. Okay, now to me, it still needs something here. So I'm going to go to my sticker sheet. And I'm going to put the pencil on, I think. Things that looks like notebook paper. So, perfect. Okay, so there's October. Now on the inside, I'm just going to do a regular pocket. So if this is 3 1/2, I don't want it to go all the way to the inside because then it won't close very nice. So instead of 3 1/2, I'm going to do 3 3/8, but I need to add an inch on, so a 1/2 inch on each side. So that's 4 3/8, and I cut it to 3. And then I scored with the 4 3/8 across the top a 1/2, turned it once, scored it a 1/2, turned it once, and scored it a 1/2. So then I'm going to tuck those. Well, I cut out the squares in the corner at an angle. I mitered the top. And I'm just going to put that pocket down here, and I'm going to kind of center it. You're going to have a little bit of space on each side, but that's okay. We want to be able to close our booklet pretty well without it being too bulky. Putting glue on the 3 1/2 inch sides here. Again, I'm going to center it. Pretty close anyway. Give that a burnish. The paper, I went with the star theme again, so I went 1/8 of an inch smaller. So this is 3 3/8, so this is 3 1/4. This ended up being 2 1/2, so I went 2 3/8. Come on, glue. Okay. I'm not going to mat the inside. You can if you want to, but I'm going to just leave it as a pocket. And to me, it might need something here. How about like that? So I took the sticker, "The Future is Bright," put it on black paper and did a little fussy cutting around it. And now I'll just glue the bottom part on so that it hangs up above the pocket and at an angle. Okay, so that's what I'll do for October. I think that adds a lot, that die. All right, so I'm going to put that in my pile. I'm going to move on to November. So I chose the blue one. So the first thing I'm going to do is add my white paper for the mat. So again, 3 3/8 by 4 7/8. This is the lightweight artisan, so it's good for matting. I believe it's 65 pounds. Center that on there. Okay. Give it a burnish, make sure it's on there well. I think I'm going to put this ribbon down at the bottom. Now I could have wrapped it around the mat, but I think it would have made it it would lift. So I am just going to glue it, but I might fishtail the end so it looks a little bit like a banner. So I'm going to cut an angle here. It won't be perfect. So like that. And cut it to size. Take a little bit out of the end here for a fishtail. Yep, I like that. Before I glue that down, however, I want to make sure that my card here fits with that. Yeah, it will. So I did trim that a little bit shorter so that I could put the ribbon at the bottom to add some color. So I'm going to go ahead and put this journaling card on first. Now I thought about popping this one up on dimensionals, but I don't know, you could. I just changed my other mind, I guess. Okay. So I do want the month on there. So I went to my letters and I did have some that are a little bit, they have like epoxy sticker, and I put the NOV for November and rounded the corners, and I think I'll put that here, or no, let me put it here. And then I'll tie a black bow and put that here so it's a little bit more feminine. So I'll put this under, and this again is not trimmed perfectly. The rounded corners, no, And I'll try and center that. So there's NOV. I'm going to go ahead and put this bow at the top. I might need a like clip to kind of hold it. Maybe not. Let's see if I leave it alone, maybe it'll be fine. Maybe not. Where do I have? I rearranged. Where did I? Oh, maybe it will. I'm just gonna set this there. I'll just leave it alone. Okay, so now I'm gonna glue this on here. add a little bit of punch of color. And the art glitter glue works on the ribbon also. Place that down. Try and get it straight. So I could stop there. I have this paper clip from that collection I have. I think I might put that like right here. Just there. Just to add a little bit more. Yeah, that gets washed out. Trying to decide here or here. I think you see it better if you have a little bit on the black, so that's where I'll put it. I don't want to over decorate, but yet I want enough to make sure it looks very schoolish. And I just want to use the materials that I haven't been using very much of. I have a lot of dyes that I haven't used as much as I should. Okay. And I would do the inside pocket the same as the other. I think I would use that pocket more, the one that's at the bottom. I think that's cute. So there's November. I might try and find something. Let's see, is there a sticker, or I don't want to overdo it. What if I put that star there? Would that look all right? I have an owl. I have notebook paper. I think I'm going to put that there. So I'll put some extra glue on the back. And I'm just going to center it on that ribbon. There's that pop of dimension I want. Yay. Okay, there's November. See how fast these go? Now, granted, I did look at them ahead of time, but okay, so December, I grabbed this cream colored one. And the matte this time, do I want this? No, it's too loud. I'll use this red because it's December. Did an 1/8 of an inch smaller, so 3 3/8 by 4 7/8. And this collection has some smaller cutouts that I'm going to use on this one. Trying to get some variety. Make sure those corners are down. See, wouldn't these be cute for little, the little composition notebooks too? Okay, so I'm going to use 2 of the pieces from the collection, and I just cut them to size, put them on black paper, and I'm just going to put them like so, but I want them to become a pocket, so I'm only going to glue on 3 sides. Now I thought about, I have some lines, I think, that are dimensional, but I'll just put them down flat. So I'm going to have a side pocket, this open on the left and this open on the right. So I'm going to put glue on 3 sides. And I'll place this down here, about like that. And this one I want to keep this side open, so I'll put my thumb on that side so I remember. Try and get it about the same distance as the other one, with the same, with the border. All right, so I have some shipping tags that I got at a garage sale, I believe. And so I'm going to put those inside of these pockets. Now I needed the month, so I took my stickers and wrote DEC for December. Okay, and then down here I just went to the sticker collection and I had some stars. I just put those on there. I used the green ones because I thought that made sense. Okay, then I thought it still needs something, so I was gifted some paper clips. One of the CCC Christmas exchange, stocking exchange. My partner was so generous and gave me a lot of cool things. This was one of them. So I liked the red and white check for December. So I could just add a paper clip here, even though it's not Christmassy. And I could use those on the inside of the book. And then I have another one that I thought I could put there. And to me, that looks cute. Just like that. And then on the inside, I would just do the pocket down at the bottom again. Okay, so those are ideas that you can use for making these booklets. Like I said, I will make the other ones and I will come back and show you what they look like when I have them all done. And then the next thing we're going to work on is the box that holds them. This box measures, where's my ruler? Oh, here it is. This is 5 1/4 by about 3 1/2-ish, and it is about 2 1/4 deep. Okay. So I am going to put paper on from the collection. I am going to add a little box here that I, again, can set this, the one I'm using for that month can be up front and easy to grab, okay? We could add pockets on the side just like we did this so that we could put sticky notes in there if you wanted to. But I'm going to have the rest of them stored upright on the inside. I'm not going to have them stored that way. I want to be able to see the colors, and I might have to zigzag them so I can get them all to fit. I'm not sure yet because I have to have 9 of them fit. Yeah, it might be kind of tight. So, all right, I will finish these and then I'll come back and we will decorate the box together. Before I move on to the storage box, I'm going to show you the notebooks that I decorated. These were the ones that I did as examples before we started, August and September. On the inside, there's different types of pockets. This is the bag that I had. The rest of them, I'm just doing a regular pocket like so because I think that's going to be more useful. So we did those two, and then we also did December. Okay, so next is January. So I placed a ribbon on the side of the handwriting paper. This is a sticker. This is the chipboard sticker. These are from the brads. And then I had these alphabet brads that I put in for the month of January. For February, I did some matting, several layers of matting. So green, black, white, and then the pattern paper. I made a little pocket out of the pencil paper and used a chipboard sticker. 2 of the small cut aparts, put red ribbons on them. I glued this pocket on 3 sides, and then there's a tag that I put inside, and that's where the month of February is listed. March is the library card, journaling card, sticker of the crayon and the tennis shoes and the pen. I had a die that cut out the stick pin. And I used these brads down on the side, and I had, from my die machine, I cut out MAR for March. I think I'm going to need to move these up so you can see the next set. April, this one's not my favorite. Green background, then I have the pattern paper on top. I used the yellow. This is a sticker with a little bow, reach for the stars. It's up on dimensionals. So is this. This is on dimensionals. The APR for April, and I had 3 of those stars that I put on a black band in the center. And then May is the red notebook, composition notebook. I put a line of the black trim with those white polka dots, 3 of the brad, from the brad sheet. crayon stickers. I had the letters in my stash, made a bow for the crayon box. So those are all of the notebooks. I did not do June and July. I don't know, I might end up doing that, but we don't go to school in June and July. So again, these could be notebooks for students, for like assignment notebooks, teachers, daily planner, whatever. So now that I have those made, they're pretty thick, and I don't even know if I can get them all to fit in the box. But let's start with the box. So this box that I'm going to be using is what they came in. And again, it is 5 1/4 by about 3 1/2 by about 2 1/8. Okay, so I am putting pattern paper on the inside. Now, the thumb hole doesn't bother me. I'm not going to cut a thumb hole. So you can see I did 2 sides of the paper on the inside, and I'm not doing the bottom either. So for the inside, you're going to need 2 sheets, or I use 2 sheets. They're about 5 1/8 by, how tall is that? 5 1/8 by about 3 1/2. Is that right? 3 1/2? Yeah, 3 1/2. And so I'm going to go ahead and finish gluing the inside. You need 2 of each. These are 1 7/8 wide. Come on, glue. This happens all the time. And so when we put the inside and the outside paper, it's going to kind of cover that thumb hole anyway, so it's not a big deal. I'll lay it down on its side so I can kind of see where I need to put it. I want it to line up at the top at the same spot. That looks pretty good. And then I will take my bone folder and just give it a burnish on the inside. I think this will be such a cute thing to have on a desk. And then let's finish the other one by putting the glue on the back. Now some of you, I mean, you can make your own box and use your composition notebooks. There are a lot of videos out there on how to make boxes. And it wouldn't even have to be a chipboard box. It could just be either a lightweight chipboard, or it could just be several layers of cardstock, and that would work too. Make sure it's at the same height. There we go. And burnish that down. Okay, so again, the thumb hole will be covered. The next thing that I did, or that I'm going to have, I did layers for the side. So I did a black layer, a red layer, and then the stars. So the black layer is 2 by 3 1/2. So the red is 1 7/8 by 3 3/8. And then the white is 1 3/4 by, oh, I don't remember. Oops, sorry. About 3 1/4. Okay, so I just layered those, and I'm going to put those on the side. So 2 sets. I thought the layering looked better. The black really made the paper pop more. So let's just put those on there, make sure they're centered. Looks good. And you can still see the box, which I kind of like because that's a different color. So all those layers look good. Put the other side on. Center it. Okay. All right, so the back, I did the layering also. The paper I had was a little bit short, so this red is a little bit wider than the white. The star should have been 1/8 longer, but I didn't have a piece that worked, so The back, I gotta decide which way I want to be the back, probably this side. So I did the layering again. So I kept going 1/8 of an inch smaller. So whatever the width of your box, go 1/8 of an inch smaller for the black, then 1/8 of an inch smaller for the red, and you should go 1/8 of an inch smaller for your pattern paper. Same way with the top. So I'm gonna glue that here, and you can see that the thumb hole was pretty much taken care of, okay? So I'm gonna glue that on. Again, this is the back, so there's no pocket on this one. On this side. But I did feel like the back needed something, so I went through the cutouts or the journaling cards. Give that a burnish. All right, so I went through the cutouts, the cut-aparts, and then there was a 4x4 that I cut down to size, and then I matted it on black, so the black is 1/8 of an inch bigger. Now I was gonna glue this on flat, but I think I might put this on dimensionals. I kind of like the dimensionals. So I'm just gonna place those randomly on the edges and in the middle here. So 3 rows of 3. Now when I do my gluing, when I adhere these, I do put a little dab of glue on the foam square just to make sure it sticks well, because that art glitter glue is magic. And I'm not going to do the bottom. This is a sturdy box and you won't see the bottom anyway. And I'm just going to center this. Oopsie, I almost forgot. And I'll just center that. Like so. Push down on those foam squares so they stick. And there's the back. Okay, so that's what people will see when they come up to the desk. And so now the front, I did the layering also the same way as the back. So I'm going to have 3 layers. And I am going to put a pocket on. So I am going to put this down first because I don't want the pocket, I don't want the paper to be split because of the pocket. So I am going to lay that all the way down and then I'll put the pocket on. Now you will see the black of the pocket, and I might end up putting some of the star paper on there just so you don't see that. But so 1/8 of an inch smaller than the width of your box, and then continually go down 1/8 of an inch for each of your layers. So then you're going to need if your box is the same size as mine, this is 5 3/4 by 2 7/8. And I want a 3/8 inch width to hold the book. I don't want it to be flopping around in there, so I wanted it to be kind of snug. So what I did was I did a 1/2 and then 7/8 on 3 sides. So I put the long side up at the top of the scoreboard, did 1/2 7/8, rotated it once, 1/2 7/8, rotated it one more time, 1/2 7/8. Okay, so we are going to need scissors. And I am going to cut out, I think I'm going to cut out all 4 of these. And yeah, I'm going to cut out all 4. I don't need that little tab. And I want to make sure I get on the other side of this bump on the score. I don't want that little bump to be there. So I'm going just on the opposite side of it. This one needs a little bit more. Okay, I am going to miter the outside 1/2 inch. And I need to miter the 1/2 inch down at the bottom too. Just slightly. Okay, we can burnish our score marks. So I need to decide whether or not I want to put the star paper on the little gusset pieces, I guess you'd call them. I don't know yet. So this is 4 inches, so I don't need another black piece, so I just went 3 7/8, and it's a 2-inch tall pocket, so I went 1 7/8. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. It's easier to glue this on before you put your box onto your larger box. Now some people prefer to do a 1/4 of an inch difference on their matting. I used to do a 1/4, now I do an 1/8. It's whatever you prefer. So then this was 1 3/4 tall, and 4 3 7/8, then 3 3/4 wide. And center that. So when we put this on our box, we are going to see the black here. So I am going to cut 2 skinny strips of the stars because it's going to drive me nuts. And so these are 2 inches. I'm going to make this 1 7/8 by a 1/4. So that's super skinny. You know what? 1 7/8 tall. And just a 1/4 of an inch. Tiny, tiny. Let's see. And what I will do then is I'll just glue that here on that 1/2 inch. Maybe it should, 3/8 is going to be better. Make it a little wider. And I'll glue that on there so you don't see the black. One more. All right, so I'm going to glue that first. So you're going to turn it upside down and do that 1/2 inch on the outside. And you don't have to do that, but I don't like to see the black of the box, the tabs. I'm not going to do the bottom because I don't think you'll notice it. I don't think you'll see it really. Okay, and then I'll do the other one. It's the outside 1/2 inch that we're covering. Now you're going to have to decide also, do you want the outside covered on this side right here? I don't think I'm going to. I think it's okay to see the black on the outside because we matted with black, so I think that's okay. All right, so let's get started on putting this together. So we do need to adhere these mats together. I need to fill my glue bottle. Even that out. Stars. Now I am going to let you know that when I decorate the front of this box, I had gone to a like a garage sale. A church had a, I don't know, like a yard sale, I guess, and there was a table of Christmas things, and on that table were some like teacher Christmas ornaments. And I thought, you know what, I could probably use that. And they were pretty generic. It wasn't like just for Christmas. So that's what I'm going to use to decorate. I kind of lucked out, I think, on what I found. It's perfect for this box. So I'll show you that in a second here. All right, so let's go ahead and adhere this to our box. And we're going to want to center that. Make sure we cover that thumb hole and the paper that's behind it. Okay. All right, so we are going to put the box, I'm going to put it down on the bottom left-hand side, and I'm going to put it all the way to the edge. So I'm going to put glue, I'm going to put those two on the inside. I'll put glue on the 1/2-inch pieces. Up. That looks good. So now I'm going to get my bone folder and push down those 1/2-inch pieces. So look at how cute that's going to be together. Okay, so see, that's much better. I like having the stars kind of cover up that black. All right, make sure, give me one last burnish here. So let's just make sure the book fits. It does perfectly. That's going to be easy to find the one you need and pick it out. Okay, so the ornaments that I found at that sale, one was a chalkboard, and it said, teachers help us believe in ourselves. And there was a little, like one of those little screws, and it had a ribbon to hang. I think I'm going to place that right here, okay, in the center. And then that'll kind of, that'll have to be cute actually. Let's put this one in. Oops. I think that'll be cute. Okay, so I'm going to glue just the bottom part, about 2 inches up. I'm going to give it a healthy coating. And I'm going to try and center this. And I'm going all the way to the bottom of the box. Push that down. Okay, so that's part of what I'm doing. Then I found an ornament that was a teacher, and it had like Christmas things dangling. So that's why there's little holes in her hand, and there was a hole on her head with a string, and I just took that off and made a little bow. And I'm going to set her right off to the side like this. So that will be the finished box. So I can get about 2 legs worth. So I'll go to put glue on this side, and I'm going to try and mark it with a pencil so I know where to put the glue. That did not work at all. Okay. So I'm just putting it on the parts that are going to be on the box. All right. Put her all the way over and down to the bottom. Give her a push. So go through your stash. You never know what you're gonna find. And there we go. So let's put a couple in here just to kind of get an idea of what it's gonna look like. Put this one here. How stinking cute. I love it. I love it. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit all the notebooks in, however, because mine are pretty thick. But it'll be close. I don't know. It might be really close. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get them all in. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to because I still have 2 left. I'll think of something. Okay, so that is my back to school project for the hop. Let me kind of lay everything out for you. I'll lay them down. So we have the storage box for the Walmart daily planners. And we have the storage box caddy thingy for our desk to hold sticky notes, pens, rulers, highlighters, and so on. All right, so down in the description box, you're going to see a list of all of the participants for Country Craft Creations, the Back to School Hop. So go to everybody's channel. I'm going to ask that you give us a thumbs up. That kind of helps get people to our channel. And just subscribe if you haven't. I do have free tutorials on my channel. I also do walkthroughs, and I have some hauls that I show you so you can see what supplies and craft materials are at the store. So thank you for coming to my channel, and I hope you enjoy this hop, and happy back to school.